Hello and welcome to today's video. So today what we will be doing is we will be building an automatic bamboo farm. So one of the best things about the new updates is that we can build one of these automatic farms, which is going to provide us with free wood for things like chests, hoppers, without going through all the work of like monotonously cutting down trees. So I've already laid down the foundations here towards the upper top of our fortress. So I've just put these stone bricks down, and I've already laid down the rails as well. So this is where the collection system is going to be, and it's going to be just underneath the farm. So I'm just going to give it a quick test now just to make sure the minecart actually works and travels up and down this entire area. Looks like it's all working fine. So now I'm just going to build up a 2-block high wall around the perimeter of the edges. And then afterwards what we're going to do is we're going to lay down our dirt in between both these walls. This will give it enough space to where the hopper minecart can freely travel underneath this farm and collect all the drops on top. So now I'm just going to lay down the dirt in between these two walls, and this is where we'll actually be planting our bamboo, and on either side we'll have hoppers and observers, and that we'll use those to actually harvest the bamboo. And of course the collection system underneath will pick everything up and deposit it in a pipe that will eventually go to our automatic storage system. So the reason I've decided to build one of these more traditional bamboo farms as opposed to a flying machine design is because when you are unloading chunks, like for example if you quit the game or you go into the nether, the flying machine often breaks, in which case you've got to climb into your farm. You know, at the best case you've got to reset it, worst case you've got to destroy the entire flying machine and rebuild it. So these farms are just a lot more reliable, and of course since we're only playing single player survival, we don't actually need a crazy amount of bamboo anyway. This will be more than enough for our needs. After that I'm just going to build a 1-block high wall on either side now, directly next to the dirt blocks. So now we're just going to go in and add our pistons on each one of these blocks at the sides. And now we're just going to go around the outsides and add in the observers. Now usually in a farm like this you would put an observer on every single block, and that way it will be slightly more efficient. However, due to how fast bamboo actually grows, I think we can easily get away with just placing an observer every other block to make it a little bit better on resources. And I don't think this will impact the efficiency as much. Because redstone travels around 8 blocks, it's very unlikely that a bamboo won't grow and trigger the observer, which will then harvest all the bamboo around it before one of the bamboo actually grows in an area where there is no observer, and it gets too high to the point where it stops growing. Now if this was like a sugarcane farm, I wouldn't advise doing this, just because sugarcane grows a lot slower, and as a result if you don't place an observer on every single block it's going to be a lot less efficient than if you do. And now we're just going to run a row of redstone dust all along the outer edges here, and as I said earlier, this means that when one bamboo triggers an observer, pretty much all the bamboo in an 8-block radius will be harvested by the pistons. And now I'm just going to fill in all these blocks just to make sure no bamboo can get out of the farm. And now I'm just going to add in some light blocks, in this case some glowstone, and that's because bamboo, like most plants in Minecraft, do require a certain level of light to grow. And now I've built up 2 more blocks around the outsides. Now if I wasn't using an observer every other block, I wouldn't have done this. This is just so that the bamboo has extra room to grow if it is one of the bamboo that isn't triggering an observer. This will slightly increase the efficiency. And then what we'll do is I'm just going to pave over the top with some glass blocks, just so I can see inside the farm, just to make sure everything's working once we get it going. And here is the redstone circuit we'll be using. It's an unloader. It's probably one of the most useful redstone circuits in Minecraft, just because it's applicable in quite a lot of farms as a collection system. So it's really easy. The hopper minecart will come up these rails, and we have a comparator here reading what's in this hopper. This goes into a block, it's fed back into that block by this repeater, and then to invert the signal we have a redstone torch on this side as well. This means that while there is actually stuff in the hopper minecart, it will freeze the rail and unload everything into this chest, and when there isn't, it will just get sent back down and continue collecting items in the farm. So let's do a quick test now to see if it works properly. And there it is. I think there was only one rail it picked up. Let's have a look. Yeah, one rail, but it worked perfectly fine. Now it's time to actually plant all the bamboo in this farm. As we can see here, it is already working. We are already getting bamboo from this. So you can see I've built up this pipe here, and this is going straight into our storage system. And to actually deposit things in this pipe, behind me we have a dropper. And this is the dropper circuit we'll use to actually unload things that are in the dropper. So again, very, very simple. It just consists of a comparator, a repeater, and some redstone dust. And this is a dropper clock, so as you can see, once we place the bamboo in here, it will activate and it will just spit out the bamboo down this pipe, and then what we'll do is we'll add some water in the pipe, and that will deposit everything straight into the storage system. So now what we're going to do is just going to connect this chest to the dropper with hoppers. And before we put the final hopper in, we're just going to make sure we've got the water in here, just so we're not wasting any bamboo. Yep, so that's looking all good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace the block here and the two on the end with ice blocks, so the bamboo will just slide straight across. Then I'm just going to build up the walls of this pipe around the water stream, just to make sure all the bamboo gets into the water stream and we don't lose any, it doesn't like shoot it off anywhere. Then I'm just going to fill in the blocks on the top. And also pillar up here, again just to make sure that all the bamboo falls in a straight line down here and none get lost by just getting sprayed out in some random direction. Just going to add the final hopper here, which should mean it should start working now. And yeah, as we can see, our dropper clock has activated, so it will be spewing bamboo down into the pipe. For some reason I can't see it with this. Maybe it's just because we're a little bit too far away. So here we are, we're right next to the farm now, and as you can see, we have a ton of bamboo just spewing out this pipe and going around our system. And here is a slightly more bird's eye view. And as we can see, our chest of bamboo is rapidly filling up. Now, onto the building portion of the episode. So I really wanted to get like some of the actual architecture of the fortress in here. God, look at this bamboo. You may have to make a secondary storage for this because I feel like it's going to fill up really fast. But as I was saying, right in front of me here are some pillar designs I was doing. So this is the first one. This is a slightly wider arch. Now the reason why I wanted a wider arch is because in some places we are going to have like the stone walkway at the top crumbling with wooden planks across. And here is the second design, a slightly smaller arch. Now I definitely prefer this to the wide one, and I think this is the one we will be going with. So I'm just going to repeat this pattern here all around the fortress. So adding some finishing touches to this pillar now. And as you can see, we've pretty much just repeated this pattern all on the mid layer of the fortress, just to create this walkway all around the perimeter. So this is the wooden walkway that I spoke about earlier. So I wanted this to look like the inhabitants of this fortress just sort of place these planks across like decaying parts of the fortress, bits that were just crumbling, just as a temporary solution. And here's a little bit of a closer look here. And I'll walk around the outside here. I've done it a second time here as well, but I think I'm going to change that. I don't quite like how that looks. So you can see this is over here. This is supposed to be the pillar that was originally holding this this walkway up, and it sort of crumbled and fell into disrepair. And here is a more bird's eye view. It's worth mentioning I am going to decorate the bamboo pipe eventually as well, but I'm not sure how many other pipes might be feeding into it, so I'm going to leave that till a later episode. But yeah, it's just looking good, and it's good to finally get some architecture here. So that pretty much wraps us up for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please consider giving it a like, a subscribe and commenting, all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.